On tonight's Intelligence as a dump stat, Nerdcognito goes Session 0 IQ. Again. Complete DM makes a complete hash of explaining game balance. WOTC can't see the folly of being PC. And Timothy Imholt hypocritically misses the point and infringes my gimmick. That's right, folks. It is once again time to dive deep into the shallow intellects of the TTRPG world for the week. I'm your host, Daniel. Welcome to Driving and Dragons, the channel where one day I promise to work on something other than breaks again. For all the new people who care about my B-roll footage, a huge subset, I know. There was a time in the lost mists of history where you would see a clutch replacement, a starter swap, a valve job, a fuel pump, even body work on this channel. And that has kind of gone by the wayside. It's been all about brakes for about 6 months now. When you change the pads and rotors on 3 different vehicles and your videos average like 15 minutes, well, you get a lot of mileage out of that simple repair. Especially when a couple of caliper bolts get stuck or a hub has to come apart. If you want to see a car restored and given away to someone here on the channel, that's what Super Chats, memberships, and Patreon backers are steadily funding. If you want to support me and several other TTRPG creators directly, well, Corvid Codex Volume 1 is on sale, now on Lulu, in both ebook and paperback formats. And you'll find the links below in the description as well as on screen. If you want to support the channel and you don't have the spare change to throw my way, despair not, my friends. The like, share, subscribe, and hype buttons are all free, and they take but a moment of your time. I'm currently working on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Game Designers, as well as a series of reaction videos to Alignment Done Right by Guildmaster Dan, all of which members actually get a few days early. Be sure to point out how you don't get the joke and tell me that I'm being way too aggressive and mean about things I say in the video down in the comments below as well. Now, let's get going with this week's totally tarred TTRPG takes. Say that 5 times fast. We open up with Ryan David and the crew over at Nerdcognito. Now, I've pointed out before that when it comes to the gatekeeping is good, angry, grognard, classic gaming warrior side of things, Nerdcognito is basically that one guy who gets carried away and takes everything just a few steps past where it makes sense. There is no baby which is spared from flying out the window like Connor Clapton with the bathwater. And for those of you rushing to the comments to cry about that joke, please remind yourself that Clapton said he doesn't play Tears in Heaven anymore because he no longer feels the pain of that loss. So if he can get over it, so can you. Point here is that Nerdcognito has landed on the list for the exact infraction on a range of topics. Safety tools are the devil, so if you expect any level of decorum at your table, you're a social justice warrior tourists. If you drew a dungeon map ahead of time, well, you're a filthy story gamer. Why don't you just hand out scripts and paint your nails like Matt Mercer? And this time there is no Session 0. No need for it. Players have to adapt and adjust and figure stuff out as it goes. You rolled up an elf wizard? Too bad. We're playing right now, and I'm telling you that elves can't use magic in this setting. Your evil thief likes to torture innocent townsfolk after sneaking out at night while the party is asleep and then laugh as they defend him the next day in their ignorance. Sorry. This game is going to be kind of whimsical and PG rated. It's like D and Disney for kids. You're all set with your cleric, who's basically a mockery of the Boston Archdiocese abusive priest. I'd like for you all to welcome Father James, who agreed to join us on Saturdays for the game after he finishes low mass that morning. Gee, if only there were some kind of session we could have before the first session where we outline expectations and roll characters and discuss the setting for the campaign and its themes. But that would be stupid tourist stuff, and we wouldn't really be playing then. The biggest show in our corner of the hobby, with 3 hosts whose combined IQ equate to a mid-level DC. Not to be outdone in the OSR Taking It Too Far tournament, Joel the Complete DM opened his mouth and reminded us all not to listen to D&D commentary that comes from Canada. Hold on, Canada. 40 roleplay. Dirty Door of Halifax. Guy who thinks Megadeth and Anthrax are better than Metallica. Yeah, no good content can come in. No good content up there in Canada at all. Well, Joel comes out with a tired refrain from the old school crowd that is once again an idea with decent origins taken to an extreme it was never meant to be taken to. You see, good old Disco Barbarian mentioned that game balance was overrated. Joel doubled down by saying it takes away from the incredible moments where one force has overwhelming superiority and somehow the literal guy fights and wins or takes him to a draw. It isn't worth sacrificing that feeling to make people feel catered to. There is just one problem here. These Nimrods are saying game balance when they actually mean encounter balance. Encounter balance is stupid, at least if it's taken as dogma for every single encounter. But game balance is the thing that prevents exploitation of the system for unrealistic, non-emulative meta advantages. Game balance is what allows you to explore numerous playstyles and character concepts without fear of bogging the party down and hurting everyone else's experience. Game balance is what ensures that when a party attempts something that should be easily achievable, it doesn't have a 40% chance of failure and a 30% chance of catastrophic failure, while a supposedly difficult task is actually more likely to succeed and has no chance of really going bad. Game balance is the balance of the system, which gives verisimilitude. So stop saying game balance when you mean encounter balance, and Lord in heaven, don't double down on it. America's hat up there showing us all the brains are south of it. I think this may be a side effect of cold weather or something, because it seems that when you go north, the ideas just keep getting worse. Take Seattle, for instance. I'm pretty sure that Seattle, Washington is actually north of all those Canadians I just slide dropped up there. And guess what? The good folks of Seattle, Washington showed an even greater capacity for completely idiotic ideas. Woke tards of the coast, owners of the D&D brand, are desperate to get the long-suffering grognards to come back to the house that Gary built. All their activist player tourists have started to move on from the Critical Role Stranger Things fad, and the ones that are left don't have any money, so WOTC is in a bit of a pickle. So they have started their apology tour. Let's get Luke Gygax in to witness us grovel and give plastic trophies to Ed Greenwood. Let's bring it all back to Greyhawk with a focus on where it all began. Let's take the oldest D&D adventure location of them all, handwritten by the creator himself, and change the name of the inn to something more acceptable to modern PC sensibilities. Let's change it for modern audiences. Where's that 4-panel meme with the Despicable Me guy outlining his master plan when you need it? These guys just cannot help themselves. They have their rainbow-haired, septum-pierced heads shoved so far up their alphabet soup asses that they would need you to punch a hole in their diaphragm for them to see that they're once again pissing all over the shoes of the people whose money they desperately want. Even worse, the guy who renamed it told the truth. We were afraid the chick in the flannel with the nose ring and the buzz cut might get upset. And then he tried to double back and say that he didn't mean it and that it was really about some new original character. The folks at WOTC are essentially the people of the future in Idiocracy. They're so mentally incompetent that even a person of average intellect seems stupid because basic logic doesn't make sense when your IQ ranges somewhere between Toe Jam and a paid columnist for IGN. Now, it can't just be WOTC getting the wilted flowers they deserve now, can it? No. We have to have the can't we all just get along fence-sitting apologists pipe in their steaming pile of opinions, too. Timothy Imholt is supposed to be a smart guy. He's a scientist, y'all. And like all good academics, he shows a stunning ability to miss the point even when it's pretty simple. Like when he responds to people not buying WOTC's bullshit about their renamed inn in the village of Hamlet with, oh, they renamed the Inn of the Welcome Wench because people in the modern world are more sensitive to names like that. That's why it's the Paladin Prince now. So what? Do we still use those mean words for people of differing races that were used in the 1800s? Yeah, I can't help but notice that he was careful to be very vague about that instead of just coming out and saying what he meant. Y'all are delicate dollies saying they are trying to destroy your world when all they're doing is running a business. Get over yourself. Yeah, that's it, Tim. It has nothing to do with us listening to people like you saying, get over yourself at every single inch that they took over the past 26 years of them taking miles. Just what we need. WOTC apologists coming to the rescue when the company finally at least pays a little lip service to the loyal fan base that rode out the satanic panic and even gave 5e a chance early on. Look, numbskull, they said they were going back to fix things and got called out when they started stalling the engine before they even got their car out of the pit lane. That's why they get no grace, and that's why they get no leeway here. Meanwhile, you're happy to run interference and tell us to trust them when their business decisions look very similar to the exact same crap that they've been pulling on us for years. I wonder if Tim tells women to give abusers a second chance and then tells them that they need to get over themselves when the bastard slaps them again because it isn't like he used the belt and his dinner was cold. He would probably tell me that I don't need this BC headache powder either, but he'd be wrong there too. And that's about all I can handle this week, folks. Join me on Thursday for Driving the Conversation, live at 6 p.m. Central. Be on the lookout for the next in my ongoing alignment reaction series on Wednesday, and I'll see you guys next time.